Newton's laws of motion govern many happenings around us. Let's see some of the activities in our daily life which involve these laws of motion. If you ask for the benefit of this video, then at the end of the video you will be able to identify and describe Newton's 3 laws of motion. In addition to that, you will be able to explain how Newton's laws apply to real-life situations. So what exactly are Newton's laws of motion? Newton's laws of motion are a set of 3 fundamental laws that describe the relationship between an object's motion and the forces acting upon it. These laws explain the science behind a baseball player throwing a ball in the air. Coming to Newton's first law of motion, it states that an object at rest will remain at rest, and an object in motion will continue to stay in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, unless until acted upon by an unbalanced force. This concept is also known as the law of inertia. For example, a snowboarder gliding on ice will keep moving at a constant speed and direction until acted upon by an unbalanced force, like friction or an external force. There are some other examples too in basketball. The external force is the player's hand, which exerts a force on the ball to make it bounce back up after it hits the ground. Another example can be seen in the case of a curling stone sliding on ice. The unbalanced force acting upon it is friction, which slows it down until it stops. What is the second law of motion? It states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on the object and inversely proportional to its mass. This means that the greater the force applied to an object, the greater its acceleration will be, and the heavier the object, the slower its acceleration will be. An example can be seen in case of baseball. A baseball player can hit the ball farther and harder by swinging the bat with a greater force, and if the ball is heavier, then it will cover less distance as compared to a lighter ball, if both are hit with same force. Let's see 2 more examples. When a quarterback throws a football, the force of the throw is proportional to the mass and acceleration of the ball. When a hockey player hits a puck with his stick, the force of the impact is proportional to the mass and acceleration of the puck. Let's move forward to know what is Newton's third law of motion. The third law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This means that if one object exerts a force on another object, the second object will exert an equal and opposite force back on the first object. Another example is, when a skier pushes against the snow with his skis, the snow exerts an equal and opposite force back on the skier's skis, pushing the skier forward. 2 more examples will give you more clarity. When an ice track skater pushes his foot backwards on the ice exerts an equal and opposite force forwards on the skater's foot. In water flyboarding, the rider holds onto a hose that is connected to a watercraft, which provides the jet of water that lifts the board into the air. I believe that you can now relate the actions around you with laws of motion. So let's do some practice. Look at the sport on the right and explain what laws of motion can be described based on this. Write your response in the comment box. Do this for the next 2 pictures. You will get the answer in the end. Happy learning!